Beneath the mountains of Europe, so the old tales tell, there is another world, a place of glowing stones, and by the light of those stones, strange plants grow, the food of a strange and vertically challenged race, otherwise known as the Dwarves. No, this isn't the Lord of the Rings. This is a reality. Because, according to the true and genuine folklore of many European nations, a real, bona fide Dwarven Nation actually exists under the soil of Europe. And not only do the tales tell that they exist, many people throughout history have actually been there. Let's visit this underground dwarf kingdom now and hear the tales of those who've seen it. In the Norse poems of the Edda, the dwarves were shaped from the very living stone of creation. They dwell under the rocks and in the caverns of the earth, where they forge wonders no man can rival. Across the Alps, miners once spoke of the little men of the mountain, who struck invisible hammers in the deep, and whose glowing forges sent faint auroras up through the cracks of stone. The earth, they said, is not always dead matter. Nay, it breathes and it glows. It dreams, and deep within it lives a nation of smiths, keepers, and rememberers. The legendary dwarves who live and work down below. Imagine, if you will, my friends, that we are about to step below ourselves and into the world of dwarves. What follows draws from the genuine folklore of the people who claim to have seen, observed, and even spoken with the dwarves. These vary from Tyrolean mountain legends recorded by the likes of Ignaz Vincent Zingerle, or the Alpine traditions gathered by Vernaleken, or the Norse Eddas, or the Celtic tales of the sea, or the Saxon miners' accounts, or even the Slavic underground kingdom stories, as well as the old, very scientifically compiled tomes of the Brothers Grimm and the famous German alchemist Paracelsus. And absolutely all the words you'll hear spoken by the dwarves here were not just literary inventions. On our imaginary journey here tonight, we have taken them from the exact quotes which dwarves were reported to have said by these human witnesses, according to the book Teutonic Mythology. So this journey deep into dwarf country is in fact 100% authentic. So now then, take a deep breath, my friends, and follow me below. The first thing you might notice is the light, because light, in fact, has no business underground. It's a supernatural light, something that should not be, a mysterious anomaly. At the mouth of the passage, it may just be a pale shimmer, like moonlight perhaps leaking through a crack. But as you walk, the blue-white glow begins to spread through the crystals in the walls, waking slowly, it would seem, pulse by pulse. Water drips somewhere ahead, and a distant hammer stroke echoes as if the mountain itself just exhaled. This is the light the Tyrolean spoke of. Cold, bluish, like moonlight caught in quartz. Zingerle wrote of a brightness that hurt the eyes yet cast no shadow. And you see now how such a contradiction could be true. Your hand shines faintly. The wall beside you remains untouched. And in the Norse tales, the dwarves' glow came from their forges, rivers of molten ore winding through the darkness, and veins of living metal running like arteries in the world's bones. To the Celts, the sea lit their halls with a radiance that came from the very stones themselves. A dwarf emerges now from the shadows and speaks. See how the world glows within. He who does not respect this cannot understand it. Another one appears with a bit more of a typical dwarven gruffness. You humans are too noisy in our halls. As a passage opens, you take the opportunity to put distance between yourself and the irritated dwarf. Yet, the air feels strange here in this new hall. Thin, weightless, your footsteps seem to land softly, like you're crossing memories of stone rather than stone itself in some intangible dream. Grand and towering pillars rise on either side of you, carved with mystic, indecipherable ruins, or with branching roots holding aloft vaults of black rock threaded with silver and gold. An underground river slides past below a walkway, one stream bright as quicksilver, another singing faintly as if carrying the echoes of distant bells. You pass several curious dwarves as you make your careful way across the hall, dwarves who whisper to each other as if gossiping about you. Humans, you know they live such a short life because they abandoned the natural foods the forests and the earth provide and began creating their own crops. Ignoring the ageism of your maybe 1,000-year-old hosts, you look upward, my friends, up at the ceiling that glitters with a captivating pattern. Gemstones set like stars, a reversed sky above. A door ahead glides open without a sound. A hammer falls, but the impact is silent. A flame burns in a brazier, with no smoke at all. Vernaleken wrote that in these halls the air had no weight, as if one floated rather than walked. And as you move, you understand now what he meant. Because time behaves differently here. Candles do not burn, food does not stale, and faces do not age. This is not the land of the dead, it's the land of stillness, the deep forge where the tools of eternity create immortality. Immortality as timeless as the earth itself. Seeing now that you are not alone, for from the alcoves and the half-light between pillars, figures begin to emerge, in greater number now, small and powerful, but perfectly balanced in form. Their eyes catch the cold luminescence like iron catching sparks. These are the beings the old accounts describe with surprising consistency. One watches you, another listens. Miners in Saxony swore they heard them singing, deep, rough voices echoing through the shafts, carrying harmonies no human throat could quite manage. Some legends claim their dialect resembled human speech, but that no man who heard it could remember even a single word. As you watch through the crowd of dwarves, they mutter softly, their short, gruff remarks. "What do you desire of me?" says one. "You shall not keep what is unjustly taken," says another. "All right, take it. Take what you please, but return everything at the proper hour." They are formal, reserved race, and serious about their craft. Honor them and they reward you, but cheat them or break the rules in any way, and misfortune awaits. In the Norse Edda, these people forged for the gods themselves, and deep within their realm, some tales whisper of a king, a flame crowned with stone, wearing a diadem lit with the heart of the earth, the king under the mountain, as he's known. You decide not to seek him, and let him remain a rumor, for now. As you walk on, something unsettles you, gently at first, then insistently. Your own heartbeat seems far away. Your thoughts stretch, slow, lengthen into echoes. This is the oldest warning in European folklore. In the Norwegian sagas, the miner who followed a dwarf's lantern returned to find himself 20 years older, as 20 years had indeed passed on the earth. In Celtic stories, a harper spent what felt like a single evening in the sea's feast hall, only to crumble into dust the moment he stepped into daylight. In the Slavic tales, a shepherd wanders into a fissure in the rock and steps out again 2 centuries later, unchanged and therefore utterly alone. You are walking through the quietest chamber of consciousness now, where centuries pass like breaths and the outer world fades into a mere rumor. A passing dwarf seems to read your thoughts and mutters, "Time here does not obey those who measure it. He who walks here walks in the earth's own breath." Now the halls widen, and the glitter of treasure draws your eye before you can stop yourself. Weapons of impossible workmanship, jewels that glow from within, cups filled with liquids that seem to produce on their own. Yet, as you eye that cup of bottomless honey mead, a dwarf shakes his stocky finger at you. He who seeks only wealth will find only ash. He who seeks wisdom will go forth illuminated. And so, keeping your hands tucked safely at your sides, remember the warning, my friends. The Brothers Grimm said plainly, gold taken from the dwarves turns to ash by morning. Welsh fairy lore insists silver gifts melt before sunrise. And Paracelsus wrote that gnomish gold loses its virtue when it leaves its element. These are not riches meant for pockets, you see. They are ideas, symbols of insights, of craft, of inner fire. Take them as wealth, and you wake with dust. Take them as meaning, and you walk out changed. At last, the halls begin to thin, and you sense the nearness of the upper world. Entrances to this place are never fixed. They open wherever the world feels thin, under cairns, beneath standing stones that shift on midsummer nights, in abandoned mines where strange lights flicker, sometimes through still water, sometimes through a moment of music. Lady Wilde wrote, to the pure of heart, the earth sometimes opens like a door, and a light beyond all dawn shines from within. The dwarves' voices echo one last time in your ears. Go carefully, human. Not all that glitters is yours to take. Looking back once more, the pillars, the halls, the cold radiance, they're already dissolving, as though falling back into the mind that dreamed them. Whatever you carry now, treasure or understanding, will determine whether you leave with ashes or with illumination. So there you have it. We have seen the hidden kingdom of dwarves, and in every land of Europe, from Iceland to the Alps, echoes of the same vision remains. A living world beneath our feet, where craft and consciousness are one. A light that burns forever, but hidden from the sun. So if you dare delve deep into that abandoned silver mine one twilight, and happen to hear a rough, yet somehow magical singing, echoing against the stone shafts, better set your clock forward, 20 years or so, and better speak honestly if you happen to visit their vast glowing banquet halls when they ask you if your dinner of subterranean veggies is any good. Be frank, if they're a little bitter and bizarre, but best not to offend them either. They may be a tad bit diminutive, but they're stronger than they look. And if you happen to take a fancy to that platinum-plated titanium sword encrusted with rubies, on discount in the Dwarven market at a bargain price that's just too good to be true, well, be careful, because it just, well, maybe. You might just find yourself clutching a fistful of ashes when those bats ambush you on your way out of the silver mine, and wasting the next 200 years or so in Dwarven customer service limbo, trying to get your money back. Well, that just about wraps up tonight's tale from Lorehound. Join us as we sniff out more of history's most interesting stories.
As the hound dog entered the dimly lit library, he sensed an aura of mystery surrounding the ancient scrolls. The dusty shelves towered above him as he sniffed his way through the labyrinth of books. Suddenly, he picked up a scent and followed it to a secluded corner. With bated breath, he approached the shelf and pawed at the book, revealing the hidden scroll. As he rolled it out, he knew he had discovered a treasure worth protecting at all costs.
Sources mentioned in this episode include the Poetic Edda, Teutonic Mythology by Jacob Grimm and Wilhelm Grimm, the writings of Paracelsus, the Tyrolean legends collected by Ignaz Vincenz Zingerle, the folklore studies of Johann Nepomuk Vernaleken, the fairy lore scholarship of Lady Francesca Wilde, and traditional Slavic and Celtic narratives of the underworld.